Oh, let's see what we got going here. Audio, I think we got audio. All right, I think we got something going here. I don't know what's all going here. All right, guys. Dave for the Affordable Door and Gate. If you're just getting here, welcome. I wanted to go over this. I had to drop some tires off, and the world of tires has changed. It's sad. It's reality. There's so many different ways. It's sad that you can buy them cheaper on Amazon, roughly about $60 cheaper than you can locally. And I love supporting locally. There's no doubt about that. But $60, $60, you know what I mean, per tire. And they're the same thing. They smell like good rubber. They feel like good rubber. They're the same manufacturer. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this. If you jump on here, let me know the audio's good. I'm just going to check to make sure that we are actually live for a minute here. I apologize. I don't have a video person that walks around with me, unfortunately. I wish I did. So if anybody jumps in here, how are we doing? I see Garage Door Guy 67. Hello. Is audio good? Can you let me know if... How are we doing? I think the audio is okay. I think. So, tires. Let's talk about tires. I am not brand specific, but I used to work at Discount Tire, and then I used to work at Penske Auto Sales, and before they went out of business. So I've been around tires quite a bit my whole life. And I know they're not created all the same. So these Firestones were on my old red van, and Captain needs some for his white cutaway van. So these are the Transforce, the HT2. And you know what I like about these are a little bit softer of a rubber. And so they work good for us because unfortunately, we got snow, we got rain, we got ice up here in Michigan. So it can be a real pain in the butt. So anywho, tires. They can go many different ways. So what I wanted to let you guys know about tires, and this has just been my experience in the garage door business. I understand for guys starting out, you got to do what you got to do. I just want you to know some of the experiences that I've had by being cheap, I guess, let's say. I remember I bought a set of Goodyear Wranglers, perfect tread, but they're older, right? They were, I don't know, eight years old maybe roughly. And beautiful tread on them. Nothing looked wrong, not a severe, a lot of dry crack or anything. And mind you, this was the old service van that I had that if you guys have been around, I've talked about, was my first service van that I put too much money into it. And so I remember this thing, we got a paint job, we had Bondo done, we had metal cut out of it. I mean, we had it just, everything was done. We had it stickered, everything. I wish I could find some old pictures of it. And so we ended up, I put those tires on that van. My business partner at the time took it down the highway. The tire blew out. I mean, it literally peeled off a section of rubber and it beat the crap out of the side of that van. I mean, the fender, the under fender where all your, debris goes, basically like the exhaust pipe would be, just beat into a pulp. I mean, I couldn't believe it when I seen the van. I mean, I was like, what did you do? And he's like, I was just going down the highway, doing 60, 70 miles an hour, and it just detonated. And I had to believe him because the thing is I had them mounted. I was with them through the whole process. I made sure they were aired up correctly and everything. And so buying those cheaper tires, it might have saved me $100, $200. I don't remember what it was. I just know they were cheaper. And I found them online, I think probably through Craigslist at the time. Didn't save any money. Like I said, it beat the crap out of my van. So tires are one of those funny things that I don't like to take shortcuts, because what do they say when the rubber hits the road? That's this right here. And these are very important. So I always like to make sure that the guys have good rubber on their vans or trucks and, things of that nature. The lifespan, I forget what tires are. I think it's after 5 years. It could be 10 years. Somebody could probably look it up. It's easy. I was going to Google it before I jumped on here. A lot of tire manufacturers or tire installers, like around here, I've literally taken tires to them before and they go, we won't touch it. You know what I mean? It's a liability. So that's something else I didn't ever really know when I was buying tires and I was going around and I was either, I always try to find a set of 4 that are all matched. And, you know, you pick them up, right? You're all excited. You saved a couple $100. You think you're the rock star. You take them there. You take the tires off. You know, the van, you know, you spend the weekend doing it, after hours, whatever. You know, you take them down there and they go, nope, we won't even touch them. Sorry, take them somewhere else. Oh. And so what I found out with tires down the road was that it's a matter of they can consume a lot of your time. A lot of your time. So you have to start figuring out, and that's kind of what I always explain to you guys, like in the garage door business, right? You know, you start valuing your time more than you do run around like a chicken with your head cut off. So let's see. Usually it's 6 or 7 years. Appreciate that, Mr. Garage Door 67. So another thing, like I said, was your time on them. How much time do you want to spend running around, finding them, all that kind of things? You know, the more you play with tires, the more they have issues. I literally bought one offline a while back. It was going to be for a spare tire, right? I thought, I don't need a brand new tire. It's just going to sit in the back of a van. It's just going to be around the shop, right? And, you know, I was saving probably whatever, you know, 30, 60 bucks or something, right? I bought it off, I don't know if it was eBay or what. I bought the darn tire and I could not believe it had 2 patches in it. It had 2 plugs. And one was bad. One plug was not good. So I literally had to plug it myself. And I was like, are you serious? But it's that whole thing again. What's your time worth? You think, am I going to send it back and go to UPS? Or, you know, I mean, I could have called them, right? But it's a used tire. So what are they going to do? Send me another used tire? I mean, you know how it is. You're going to call this place. You're going to get somebody from a different country that probably answers. And I was like, are you serious? This thing's got 2 patches in it. I thought, you know, you cheapskate. Don't be a cheapskate. You know, I should have spent the extra $30, $60, brand new. I know, but it's a spare, you know, and I thought, no big deal. But you know, that spare, just like that fire extinguisher, right? It's not important until you need it, right? When you're on the side of the road, it's raining, it's miserable, you're trying to get home, you know, you got a job you got to get to. It adds up, man. So tires are really super important. I just wanted to jump on here. I was dropping it off at the shop so the guys can take it. Another thing to do is what I try to do is a lot of with the service vehicles and stuff is, so when they do the tires on this, we're going to take it down to our mechanic and he will pop the tires off. He's going to change them down there. We're also going to have him look at the brakes. That's something that can get easily overlooked and it can start adding up a lot of money. So just have him check the brakes out. If it needs brakes, it's time to do it before you get into the harsh winter, you know, especially if you're up here in the northern states like us in Michigan. You know, it's just better to be proactive because once they start grinding, you know, on the rotors, it gets expensive. It adds up. So, but anywho, I'm not going to stay here long. I don't think there's anybody got any questions or whatnot. Like I said, I don't know if this is updating. I'm looking at another phone. I'm cheating because I can't be there with you, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm going to throw these in the shop and he can schedule a time when he wants to take it down there and all that jazz. But he's got pretty nice sipes on them, so they work pretty good. They work good for the winter time. I think you'll be happy with them. You know, I just know they'll get them through winter into the next season. The old mud and snow. This one doesn't have the emblem though for the winter icon on it. All right, I'm jumping off here, you guys. I got a little bit of stuff yet to do. See what Mr. Justin. I got a flat one day and I didn't have a spare. Ooh, ended up costing more than the spare. Yeah, that's very true, Mr. Justin. So what we do is, well, when we had 2 cutaway vans, I actually had the one spare that would float. It was either for Captain's or it was for mine. You know what I mean? Now we got his. So we just end up, but you know, a spare tire can go a long ways, you know, and I get sometimes, you know, it's a bear to carry them on the trucks. For me, when I was in the yard or on the road more, I always kept a full jack. I kept a full spare tire on my truck because when you're at the top, there's nobody to save you pretty much, you know what I mean? So, or I was out saving the other guys. And so at least I had a jack. And sometimes I remember on the old crusty van, one of them we had, the guy, he broke down the road here I don't know, about 15, 20 minutes away, one way. And he called up and he's like, I can't get the spare down. So he was struggling, and I don't blame him. So I end up going down there with the grinder, right? You know, got our legs and knees up underneath the truck, right? Underneath the van. Grind that puppy out of there, man. Gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta get the spare down because the spare is the one that fits. You know, I think his was kind of an oddball. Well, I don't want to say it's an oddball, but it was just, I knew that one fit it. It had air in it. Maybe we didn't have a different one. Maybe we had some other ones, but yeah, a spare can go a long ways, you know, and the problem is you just never know. You just never know what you're going to get. You can call somebody, they come out, they're going to fix it. They say, hey, we're busy, we're down today. The world's changing. The world's changing fast. Can't really say for the best, you know, but it's definitely changing. And it's just, you know, an ounce of prevention can go a long ways. So it's just nice to have a spare tire on hand. And, you know, you got to check them once in a while. And that stuff can all add up. I've been there. I do it. It's when you get a fleet of trucks, you know, and you got guys and you got, oh, it just goes on and on and on. And you just, but another thing too, just an idea, something you might want to consider is, I can darn near what I've done if you don't want to spend a lot of money, is buy a tire. I average about a tire a month. Buy a tire a month, and that way you don't have to take such a big hit. You know what I mean? Because it's a bummer when you got to go spend, you know, $1,200 on a set of tires. So even our local tire shop here, I would literally go down there, and I've made good relationships with them, and we do garage door work for them, and we buy tires from them, and they're great guys. And what I'll do is I'll go down there, and it's like, you know, they kind of, oh, the one tire a month Dave is here, you know what I mean? That's kind of, and just buy, sometimes it's one or two, sometimes I got to buy, you know, but, you know, between this business and my other business, I got a lot of tires. So I can buy, I'm getting closer, I could probably average about two. And by the time I start adding them up, you know, what I do is I have a set of them, boom, I can put them on the truck. Or, you know, another idea is do an envelope system. Don't be afraid. I did this years ago when I was younger. You know, get an envelope and start stashing every week, you know, put some money in there, you know, $200 a week or whatever you got to do, $150 even. And by the time you know it, you know, you got the money sitting there. When you're ready to go, boom, you can deploy it. Because there's a little bit of a caveat to doing that, is that your tires do have age on them. So you might be getting a different run. You know, you might get one tire that's even a year older than what you just bought, because they get mixed in, and it gets a little squirrely sometimes. But it's worked good for me. You know what I mean? Instead of just buying them all at once, you know, you only spend $200 here a month, you know, and it's not such a big blow to the pocketbook, let's just say. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I got things to do. It's getting dark. It's getting spooky. We'll see you guys. Have a good one. How do you end the video, George?